Hello, Purple Rosa here, and I'm continuing on with the main quest of Western Skyrim. So in the last one, we came up from Black Reach at Greymoor Keep up to Solitude here to the Tower of the Wolf, I think it was called, or Castle Dower, something like that. And yeah, we had to kill Savannah's father to stop the big Harrowstorm, and we saved the people. Sadly, the tower got destroyed, which hopefully would have caved in the entrance from Blackreach to Solitude here. And yeah, Fëanorian and Lyris were here. We last saw them at the door stopping those Harrow fiends from getting into the city, so I'm now going to check to make sure that they're alive, especially Fëanorian.
Tell me truthfully, Lyris, how much of this blood is mine?
Not enough to be worried about.
They survived!
So, is it over? What happened to Svargrim? And where's Svanna?
Svargrim's dead and Savannah's fine, but she needed a moment. She asked me to check on you.
A parent's betrayal cuts deeper than a sword. But Svanna's strong. Stronger than she's been given credit for. And Solitude's going to need that strength in the coming days.
Do you think she can handle it?
If you told me the tavern rat we met at the Lonely Troll would become my choice to lead this land, I'd have called you mad. Then again, my king's a skald, so what do I know? Come on, there's probably something productive we should be doing.
That's true, but people do change. What do you have in mind?
Last I heard, Sword Thane Uthlet was gathering everyone he could at the Hall of the Dead. Head over there and see how they weathered the Harrowstorm. I'll take care of securing Castle Dower. As for Fen, you might remind him we need a lot of elixir.
Yeah, we still need that. So what happened with the horde of Harrow fiends?
We did our best to hold the Harrow fiends inside Castle Dower, but nothing short of stone walls were going to keep those monsters from pushing through. Seemed like everyone I killed was replaced by two more.
How'd you stop them?
Almost didn't. We were nearly overrun before Fen went wild. I've never seen him like that, snarling and showing what a true vampire can do. Took the Harrow fiends by surprise and we routed them. I did have to thwack him to clear his head, though.
Ha! Good old Fëanorian. Showing his true vampire side after all.
You did it. I shouldn't be surprised. But things were looking rather bleak before the clouds parted.
So what happened with the horde of Harrow fiends?
We held the gate as long as we could, but the Harrow fiends were a flood of claws and teeth. Once they burst through, Lyris cleaved through them like a scythe through wheat. But even she couldn't stem the tide.
So what happened?
I'm not really sure. I kind of went wild. Let out my inner beast, as it were. I was rending and slashing. Then Lyris whacked me with the flat of her blade. At least that's the last thing I remember. Not my finest hour, but we survived.
So what now?
The Sword Thane gathered people in the Hall of the Dead. Go check on them while I pull myself together. This whole ordeal has been a lot more strenuous than I'm accustomed to. Then I'll get to work on the elixir and a cure for the Herod.
What about the Harrow fiends?
Sadly, I don't think there's any hope for them. Their life energy was sucked dry, turning them into feral beasts. Restoring them is beyond my capabilities, I'm afraid. At least with the Herod, they're not so far gone as to be a lost cause.
Yeah, the Harrow are like stuck between life and death, I guess you'd say. Which probably means they've only had some of their soul taken out, not all of it. And the elixir will protect everyone else.
As soon as we produce enough of it, yes. We saw how it protected Svanna. Now, where did I put my flask?
Classic Fëanorian. So I gotta go to the Hall of the Dead. See how I can help there. But yeah, I would have liked to see Fëanorian go a bit wild. Because
The Muth-Nam monks use an
his
ancient
demeanor,
daedric artifact to
you wouldn't
heal.
expect him to
How
give in to his
dare the
vampire
very unseen
side.
interfere with
Would have
their
been something
holy
I
work.
want to see.
Ha! Good to see you aren't raising mugs with Ismir just yet.
We saw the storm break, but we heard nothing since you departed from Blackreach.
I'm still alive. Alive and kicking.
I regret we didn't throw a parade to welcome you back, but I'll cheer enough for 100 souls if you tell me you put that backbiter of a High King to the sword. But what of Svanna? Is she?
Svanna is alive, but I can't say the same for the High King.
That's good, but a daughter shouldn't have to kill her own father. Svanna has my support, for whatever that's worth. She's going to need all the help she can get in the days to come.
Yep. She lost her mother, now her father. Hope she can get through this somehow. So Svanna's the queen now?
Not until we hold a moot to support her claim, and we need more than a single Jarl for that to occur. If Svanna proves herself as the acting Jarl, they might look past her father's failings and make her the queen. Eventually.
She's proven capable so far.
We can settle the matter of the crown when there's kingdom enough to rule. What remains of the holds are still ravaged by the Harrowstorms, and I doubt we've seen the last of the Grey Host, for that matter.
Any word from your hold?
None good, but none bad either. My wife knows better than anyone how to care for our people. I trust she and my Thane to protect and care for Morthal in my absence.
Yeah, he doesn't know that his daughter's alive yet, because when we convinced him, he left for Solitude straight away, and then, yeah, he doesn't know about his daughter yet. That'll be a nice surprise for him when he goes back home. Fierwen, I think her name was. We broke her curse.
We seem to have survived, thank the gods. I thought for certain we were all about to witness the end of the world.
Yeah, things did look dire there. Looks like Solitude weathered the storm, though.
No thanks to Svargrim, damn his eyes. After you and the princess went off to Blackreach, I gathered whoever we could, and made our stand here in the Hall of the Dead. I'm just glad we don't have to be permanent residents.
So no major casualties?
Far fewer than I feared when the storm began. Thanks to you and the princess. With the storm over and the Grey Host driven from Castle Dower, my soldiers will get the city back into shape. As long as no one else attacks us in the meantime.
Let's hope Rada is still out there. I'll leave you to it.
They're here! They're at the gates!
The Grey Host? I thought we were done with them for now.
Not the Grey Host! The Skald King with an army from the east!
What treachery is this?
To the gates. We'll give the Skald King a proper welcome, one way or another.
Uh-oh. He's probably here just for peace.
The pretty one with the beard.
What should I make of this timely visit? Has Yoren finally decided to attack?
No one told me to expect the Skald King.
The work of the she-giant, then. But did she call for him to aid us in our hour of need, or to deliver the killing blow? Let's see what words the poet has for us this time.
Let's hope not a killing blow after all Solitude's been through.
Svargrim was right to fear you envoys from the east.
I have no idea what's happening here.
That either makes you a fool or it makes us fools for trusting you.
Yoren sent us here to help. I don't believe he'd turn on you now.
I'm not in a trusting mood, but I hope you're right. Let's go see what the Skald King wants.
I trust the Skald King. He doesn't want to start a war, he just wants peace. Despite what you Western Nords think.
Well?
But yeah, not all Western Nords are bad, they're just stubborn. Mistrustful of outsiders.
Pleased to see you in Solitude.
Stand
stranger.
down, you idiots! We come in peace.
Where's Lyris? Oh yeah, there she is. So... speak to the Skald King? I will.
Sure, save me from fools and prophets. Will no one properly greet a weary traveler?
Go on and talk with this eastern loudmouth before there are 2 empty thrones today.
We don't need another war. Good to see you. Now work your magic before I have to teach these Western Nords some manners. Did you know the Skald King was coming? It's as much a surprise to me as anyone. I'll admit my last report was pretty bleak, and I haven't had a chance to send another since we rescued Fëanorian. But I never advised Yoren to march into Solitude. So why is he here? His grand gesture is supposed to be a show of support, but Yoren underestimated how much the Westerners distrust him. Damn Bard and their lofty ideas. Yeah, that's true. So who do I talk to? Yoren or his son?
I know that there's little love between East and West, but now's not the time to be picking a fight.
What are you and the Skald King doing here?
Lyris's report on the rise of Grey Ghost had my father preparing for the worst. When we hadn't received word for some time, he decided to intercede.
If we hadn't stopped Svargrim, that might have been necessary.
Svargrim. It's hard to believe the rumors were true. I didn't know him well, but I can't understand how anyone could throw away everything for the promise of power. What's immortality worth if there's nothing you hold dear?
Will your father attempt to take Svargrim's place here?
You'd have to ask him. As far as I can tell, the Western holds are in chaos. They could use a king who cares for his fellow Nords, but if the welcome we received here is any indication, Solitude won't see it that way.
Yeah, I'll speak to King Yoren. I don't think he wants the throne.
Oh, familiar face. Maybe you can talk some sense into these Western milk drinkers. We're not a damn invasion. We're here to help. Do you know what's going on?
The Grey Host was behind the attacks on Western Skyrim. High King Svargrim, we had to kill him.
So the rumors are true? Svargrim joined the Grey Host? I knew he had ambitions, but to throw away his humanity like that, it's inconceivable. Svargrim once told me that he would die before welcoming me to Solitude. I suppose he was right.
Grey Host caused a lot of damage. These people could really use your help.
That's why I sent Lyris here in the first place. I'm not the king of these holds, though. I can't do anything if they refuse my help. Svargrim despised me. He would never accept my aid. But Svanna... here she comes now. Let's see what she has to say.
She'll hopefully listen. Whatever you think, King Yoren.
We have no need of help that involves welcoming your soldiers within our walls.
My walls, Jarl. My father may have been willing to slap aside a helping hand, but I'm not. Permit me a word with your envoy, Skald King.
That's me.
Thank you. For holding the line, I mean. I'm ready to do what I should have done a long time ago. To do what my father never could. I'll speak with the Skald King. There's one more thing I'd like you to do while I entertain our guests.
What do you need?
We saved Solitude, but our war with the Grey Host is far from over. We need Fenn's elixir more than ever. With that, and King Yoren's help, we might just push these monsters back into their grave for good. Check on Fenn's progress, please.
Anything else?
That depends on Fenn. If there's anything standing in his way, let me know, and I'll do everything in my power to get him what he needs.
I'll go speak with Fëanorian.
Fenn is with Old Mjolnir at the Mages Guild. When you're finished with him, join me in the courtyard of the Blue Palace. I'm going to hold a moment of remembrance for this city. We all need a moment to mourn what we lost.
What about your guests?
I'm going to invite the Skald King to join us. If the people of Solitude see him bow his head along with the rest of us, They may not care about the divide between the East and the West.
Yeah, that is true.
Did the princess say something about an elixir? Windhelm will provide whatever resources are necessary to produce as much of an elixir as possible.
Yeah, see, King Yoren just wants to help. We're not as bad as you think, Western Skyrim.
I should remain with the Skald King. I trust you can handle Svanna's request without me.
Sure.
I was not expecting Princess Svanna to be so commanding. I'd heard... well, I'm glad that not all the rumors I've heard about the state of Solitude are true.
Yeah, well, she's changed.
So we're to bow our heads with the Skald King? Perhaps the poets prepared a dirge.
Perhaps he is a poet.
Clasping arms with Easterners. There's been enough death for one day.
We're not all that bad. So, gotta go help Fenorian in the Mages Guild? Where's the Mages Guild? Oh yeah, up there. Still need this elixir because Rada El Saran is still out there.
A little extortioner, man.
And might make more Harrowstorms, so we need that protection.
Take pity on me.
Hopefully they don't mount another attack, but we don't know what Rada El Saran has planned. Well, we don't know what other plans he has. So, where's Fenorian? Maybe upstairs? Or down? Try up. Must be downstairs. With old Mjolnir.
Ingenious. A rare thing to find an elf with the makings of a clever woman.
Despite what my kin might proclaim, it's not all in the blood. Ah, good, you're here. We've made a breakthrough.
Good.
I have seen many things in my time, but never could I have predicted I would soon train adepts of the Mages Guild in the arts of my ancestors.
Oh, why is that?
This is an institution of elves. They know nothing of the soul of the world. Here, magic is a thing to be measured and weighed. Mages know. They do not feel.
Why teach them then?
Necessity and a hope they can learn. If we're to brew enough elixir for everyone in the kingdom, it will take all the herb grinders in the holds. Here at least they know how to use a mortar and pestle.
True.
I was just discussing a theory with Mjolnir, and it seems like we're very close to turning this elixir into a true restorative.
Meaning what?
A cure. Singolis's research on the nether root showed me just how it weakens the connection between a body and soul. Thus far I've been able to inure a person to the root, but now I'm certain I can use that knowledge to heal those weakened bonds.
Oh, so he can heal the harrowed. That's great news. How quickly can you produce this cure?
Well, it is just a theory at this point. There's a lot more testing and experimentation to be done before we can produce a viable antidote. Weeks, optimistically?
Svanna needs your elixir now. She asked me to make sure everything is going smoothly.
I know. We can't simply put things on hold. Mjolnir and I have a batch brewing right now, and materials to keep producing for another day. Ingrid's promised us a steady supply of Arcase oil, but that's not our limiting factor.
What's the problem?
We know enough about Singolis's refinement processes to replicate his methods, but we still need a source of netherroot to do so. Tell Svanna that if she can keep us supplied, we can produce enough elixir for all the holds in a matter of weeks.
Any idea on where we can get more netherroot?
We can ransack Greyhost's stockpiles, or mount an expedition into Blackreach. Otherwise, it would take decades of work to produce a proper crop. After we get the elixir squared away, we'll turn our attention to curing the Harrowed.
So, looks like we'll be making an expedition to Blackreach. Did Zengalis's notes tell you more about the grave reliquaries and the stone husks?
Indeed. As I surmised, the Grey Reliquaries contained the remains of ancient Grey Host warriors. They served as a connection to the souls trapped in Cold Harbor. Using the energy from the Harrowstorms, the souls were pulled into the stone husks.
Yeah. And what was the purpose of the stone husks?
I believe the stone husks are incubators of a sort. The physical forms of the Grey Host are reincorporated within the stone vessels, through a mix of Zingalis's alchemy and sorcery, and the magic of the Ice Reach witches. When whole, they burst free.
Yeah, we saw that with Ulfra, that werewolf exarch we killed. Interesting. So, to the Blue Palace? That's great. Could cure the Harrowed. Didn't think that would be possible. So yeah, let's tell Savannah this news.